celebration. Welcome back to Pastor Jeff's neighborhood. It's raining here today. I have a problem. Actually, I have several. But the one I want to talk to you about today is meal planning. I just can't do it. This being the case, I need to go to my local grocery store multiple times per day to pick up that one last ingredient for the meal that I'm creating. The other day, when I was checking out at the grocery store, I saw a sign called Operation Roundup. Every time I check out with my food, usually 3 times a day, like I said, I can't seem to plan meals well. The cashier asks me if I'd like to round up to the nearest dollar to conserve coins and to support local food shelves. Rounding up can be doubly hard for me because I shop for food so often and because I keep a pretty tight weekly budget and I use cash as much as I can through the Dave Ramsey system. I've made a habit of saving coins over the years and keeping them for special little purchases. But now I'm rounding up multiple times per day and my coin saving has gone away. But I was thinking about rounding up the other day and I realized what a cool thing that could be for me. For one thing, it's a pretty painless way to be generous. I never really miss a few coins, but they can add up to a big impact where they get used. Just look at the emphasis on crowdfunding that has taken off in the world today, or the power of microloans. And if you'd like to learn more about that subject, check out books like Banker to the Poor by Muhammad Yunus. That book points out how a relatively insignificant amount of money to us can help someone else become self-sufficient. Truth be told, I don't miss those coins. Martin Luther once said, "I have held many things in my hands and I have lost them all. But whatever I have placed in God's hands, that I still possess." When I round up, I'm supporting something I believe in, feeding hungry people in our community, without having to think much or do much. A little extra generosity helps me hold on to the good things in life long after they've left my hands. So this got me thinking, maybe I could use that attitude of rounding up for other things in my life. A tiny bit of extra goodwill that may seem insignificant may truthfully make a big difference in my life or someone else's. Maybe my life needs a little more patience. Could I round up on that and impact my relationships, my marriage? Maybe your life needs a little more peace. How about rounding up on that prayer time? Just a few more seconds to slow down and refocus on what God is up to in the world. You could round up on your listening skills, your kindness, or anything you give effort to in your life. I have an old friend who once told me that he said to his wife, "I just need a little more time." To which his wife famously replied, "You have all the time in the world. You have all the time that everyone else has." When we start to focus on the abundance of what we already have, instead of what we do not have, we usually find that we have all that we need and enough to round up to help someone else as well. Psalm 145 says of God, "The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food in due season." The other day I heard a great story about our free community store. A lady had been coming to our tubs out on the street often and taking what she needed. And a neighborhood couple had started to routinely put items in our tubs. And when they saw the woman coming often, they walked over one day and gave her a $100 bill. I don't think that couple are Celebration members, but they're being blessed by the way God is at work in this church. And they in turn decided to round up their generosity in a powerful way. God is always working that way because God continues to round up the things in our lives. As we are entrusted with more, we're able to do more for people whom God cherishes, but who may not have all that they need right now. Proverbs chapter 11 says, "One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what they should give, and only suffers want. Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered." Now, that doesn't mean that we'll get back everything we give. It means that rounding up for the sake of our neighbor is its own reward. Thanks, Celebration, for the extra measure you continue to give to support what God is doing through your church. Thanks for rounding up. You give money, time, skills, prayers, vegetables. Believe me when I say, everything you're doing has a real impact. Well, that's all from our neighborhood today. For Willie, the dog, and myself, we remind you to join us this Sunday at 9 a.m. online or in person for the installation service of our new congregational life pastor, Maggie Burndreyer. I look forward to all of you getting to know her. Bishop John Anderson will be there with us in worship too. Have a wonderful day, Celebration, and keep rounding up on the good things of life.